Okay, here we are. Here we are. We just started streaming. So, hello everyone. And this is Juan Ramirez. As you can see, my name over here. I'm a realtor, I think. I think that you can call me a realtor. And today we have a guest here. We have a guest. He's Juan Pesolani. He's an architect, co-founder, and director of Pro Invest. So why is he here? Because this is a podcast for investors who are interested in Paraguay, right? In Paraguay's real estate market. So he knows about that. He's a specialist. So he has a lot of experience in the creation of real estate projects, and he has participated in the design and development of 14, that's the correct number,
Yeah.
14 successful housing ventures. And he has been featured in many publications, such as Cinco Días, El Inmobiliario, in addition to being one of the speakers at the last installment of the Latin Real Estate Conference. Was it that? The Latin Real Estate Conference. He was one of the speakers there with other developers with a lot of experience. And he recently participated in a roundtable discussion about the impact of the investment grade rating that Paraguay has achieved. That's why he's also here today to explain what they discussed there. People from different fields, different leaders. So he will explain what they mentioned there. Why is the investment rate and grade rating important? Is good news or bad news for real estate investors? We will find out today. But first, say hi, Juan. I didn't.
Hi, everyone. Hi, Juan. We are both Juans.
Juan, yeah.
And thank you for having me today. And yes, that's an accurate presentation. Just to add, yes, also I'm a real estate developer. I mean, ProInvest is a real estate developer
A developer.
or
He's a
developing company, right? And we have many projects, many apartments sold, and we are currently also with ongoing projects for apartments. Yeah, and on top of that, yes, I've been working for like 15 years now or more on real estate projects. And yes, go on. What's
Okay.
investment grade, right?
Yeah, investment grade. So we have to know what the investment grade rating is. To make it short, it's an international credit rating that states if a country is able to pay the debt back, right? Something like that. Basically, for
Like a
example,
credit score,
credit
but
score.
on
Yeah,
like your credit card, your credit score, but for countries, basically.
basically. So I think that with this new investment grade rating that Paraguay has achieved, it means that it's very unlikely that the country will fall into default, right? Like Greece, for example, a few years ago, Greece went into the default, right? I don't know, there was a crisis there. So this means that it's very unlikely that Paraguay will have an economic crisis. So is that true? Did I get that right?
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. It may sound complicated, but it's basically the credit score of the country. Like you have a credit score with your bank, your credit card, and so on. It not only takes into account the economic side, but also political stability and many other characteristics of the country. And yeah, there are many agencies that give this certificate, and one of them is Moody's. That's the rating Paraguay got recently. The other more famous one is Standard and Poor's, also Fitch rating. And the way it works, well, these agencies analyze each country and classifies them in different grades of risk of investing in that country. So before that, we were a country that was considered like an speculative investment. It was good to invest, but in a little bit risky. So we were on the speculation side of investment, and this this agency Moody's does an annual maybe credit score rating, and it was the first one to give us the investment grade, and others will come. The way it works, well, first one of them gives you the investment grade, then you get noticed, or you get Fitch, like will analyze again the country and will give its feedback, or certificate of investment, basically.
It's like Michelin stars. Like you get the rating, but then you need to keep that rating. Not like
Yeah,
you will keep the rating forever, right?
yeah. There are many countries that lost
Hmm.
their rating. I think Brazil was one of them.
Ah,
Maybe Uruguay at some point. Yeah, and like someone said once in I think it was a rapper. I don't remember if it was
okay.
J Rock or something.
Hmm.
It was that it's everyone can get it, but the hard part is keeping it.
Ah,
Well,
okay.
it applies to everything, and
Hmm.
also the credit score, right?
Hmm.
And yes, it's something you have to keep. And the interesting part is this is not something that comes out of nowhere. I will talk later, but it's something that you have to build over time,
Hmm.
and this rating was expected, but we didn't know when it will occur,
Hmm.
and it was some sort of surprise,
Hmm.
really. But it shows that the country has been working on it and being diligent in its stability, economic side, and everything. And it's said that there's no more in time, there's no time in a country's history that's more organized, more how do you say it? The behavior is good
Hmm.
than when they're
Hmm.
in the verge of acquiring this investment grade. So
Hmm.
it's a good time to invest in Paraguay, a good time, because the government is very careful with everything they do, um, when they are in the verge of acquiring
Ah,
this
okay. I get it.
investment grade, right? So
So
they,
they don't need to. They don't want to mess something up,
yeah,
so they can
so
reach that rating,
yeah,
basically,
yeah. So
right?
it's
Hmm.
not only when you acquire, but
Hmm.
a little bit or many years before you acquire it,
Hmm.
you are trying
Hmm.
hard to
Hmm.
obtain this. So there's no time in a country's history that they are more organized and well behaved, so
Hmm.
to speak, than
Okay, okay,
when you
okay.
on the
Ah, okay,
verge.
okay, okay.
Yes, we acquired the Moody's investment grade, but we need to get I'm sorry, Fitch or and Standard and Poor's rating two.
Mm-hmm.
It's just not enough with one of them. It's just a
Mm-hmm.
start.
Yeah, because I went to the Latin real estate conference as well. Was this Remax president that was talking there, and he mentioned that there are many companies that they need more agencies, right? More rating from more agencies. Of course, that only with the Moody's investment grade rating, there will be a huge difference, right? A huge change. But we need to keep this up. We need to continue improving. As you mentioned, not enough, right? So because there are many big companies that they have this requirement that they need not only from Moody's but also from SIP and from Fitch, right? So there's still a lot of work to do, right? Something,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
there are companies, there are pension funds
Mm-hmm.
that their risk profile requires them to invest in a country with at least two ratings, right, from Moody's and Fitch, or Standard and Poor's and Moody's, and so on. And but also there are companies or investment funds and private capital family offices that one of those ratings is enough. And there's a more speculative kind of pension funds and family office that invest in countries that are about to get investment grades too, because there are many pension funds already investing in Paraguay. For instance, was uh, I was listening to a talk yesterday, I think, or the day before. They were talking about this pension fund from firefighters in Chicago that invest in bonds from banks here in
Oh,
Paraguay.
really?
I mean, there are already many pension funds investing in Paraguay, but this is just a check or validation, and with this many more will come. That's the benefit of this rating.
Hmm. So there, we have some graphics here to show, right, of what happened to other countries here near Paraguay. For example, Uruguay. I can show it so we can see the what happened to the foreign investment, right? To the foreign investment after they achieved the investment
Yeah,
grade status.
but before
Hmm.
that, when you were asking me, or you mentioned these,
Hmm.
how do you call these, conversatory, how
Ah,
was
sorry,
the,
sorry. Okay, okay.
yeah,
The round table discussion.
the round table, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Well, yeah,
Yeah, you
recently
can mention that as
there
well.
was
Yeah.
this round table
Hmm.
where it was um, the CEO of the central bank.
Hmm.
Then there was the president of the AFD, which is the agency for financial development,
Hmm.
which is basically the agency that gives out a mortgage or give us credits at a good rating or rates. Sorry. And there was also Paracel CEO, which is Paracel is one of the biggest companies right now in Paraguay. It's a foreign company with a local partner that they are doing uh, um, how do you call it? Like they are doing basically paper. They're
Hmm.
in the paper industry,
Celluloids or
and
something like that. Yeah, paper.
yeah,
Yeah.
cellulose,
Uh-huh.
and
Paper. Hmm.
they're investing like, I don't know, like $5 billion in one of the biggest investments. He was also in there representing the private capital side of things,
Hmm.
and there was also a guy from Uruguay, and who was the one of the partners of Ferrere, which is a big law firm that also do accounting for big companies. And this roundtable, they were explaining each from their own side or perspective how it will impact in Paraguay. And this was not specific about real estate or anything, the just general side of things. And they talk about the achievement, the big achievement it was, and getting the investment grade, because Paraguay is among the six countries that has the investment grade. Imagine that is 33 countries in Latin America and El Caribe, the Caribbean,
Hmm.
and only six of
Only
them
six.
has,
Hmm.
yeah, that. But they explain it. This achievement is not something you get out of luck or working a few years. It's the result of working and like for 20 years of stability, right?
Hmm.
Macroeconomic stability
Hmm.
and like tax reforms and such. And many people will ask or will think, but Paraguay, I heard bad things about the politics in that country. I heard this or that. And what they explain it is, yes, we had some political unrest in the past 20 years, maybe some things you hear in the about the president, ex-president, and stuff. But one of the things that Paraguay did well was separating the politics from the central bank and the economic policy. So the central bank is independent from the politics. So that's how we got also the Ministerio de Economía, how do you call that? The Ministry of Economy.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they were completely independent from political agenda. That's how Paraguay got to be stable along all these years, despite the changing government and whatever you can hear now about politics. So many people are skeptic about these investment grades. Says, oh no, but I heard this of that person, but it has luckily has nothing to do because the central bank is independent and
It's
is
like,
able to.
yeah, sorry, I want to add something that is very curious. Like, for example, we had a minister of economy, right? And I think that he was the best, one of the best, Dionisio Borda, that's his name, right? And he was part of different governments. Like, he was part of a right-wing government, and then he was also part of a left-wing government. He was able to work, for many years, independently from the ideology of the government. So that's also very curious, I think. And
Yeah, I will share, and at the end of this, I will share a quote that was from one of the attendants explaining this thing because it's interesting, and well, um, but what does it mean? I mean, we talk about getting a rating, it's less risky, okay, but what does it really mean when we talk about risk and investments? We are talking about the financing cost, the financial cost of borrowing money, right? And this always has a cost. If the risk is high, the borrowing of money is more expensive. The cost of capital gets more expensive. But if the risk is low, so you get better rates when borrowing money. That's basically it. And if you get to lower the rates for credits, right? We're talking about a country that borrows a lot of money to make infrastructure plans and stuff. So if Paraguay just reduces the rates 1%, that will mean like $175 million out of nowhere. Like just lowering your debt cost, the cost of money, that will mean a great savings for the country, which of course will mean more investment. So the credit, the cost of capital is lower when you have investment grade, and this means that every kind of industry, infrastructure project, even from the private sector or the public sector or a mix of both, and gets more funding, gets more cheap funding, and of course more development. And that's not just the only thing that money gets cheaper or investments get easier to get done because you have more access to funding from foreign investors or funds and pensions. But also this means that the economy of the country right now, Paraguay has a big economy from cattle and agriculture. I mean the meat industry and soy and so on. But if we get if we get these credits at a good rating, you diversify your country's matrix of investments. So we have now industries like Paracel, we talked about earlier. That's a paper industry that it was in existence before. And for instance, in Uruguay, the meat industry was the top industry in the country, but then they got into the paper industry also, and it completely changed their economy. Now the paper industry is the biggest industry in Uruguay. And what does it mean? Well, you have agriculture and meat industry that are kind of dependent on climate, right? And it's medium risk, right? Because you are depending on raining and stuff. But if you bring more investment, diversify, you start your country's economy now is more industrialized, because um, we have to be honest, Paraguay is almost pre-industrial right now. So we are mainly in being meat and agriculture industries, and bringing more money and getting more types of industries reduces the country's risk also, right? Because you have more diversified economy, and that benefits the macro economy, also the micro economy, and that's a good thing also. And so we can expect a lot of industrial investments like Paracel in the next 5 and 15 years, and not only in the forestal economy, I mean trees and stuff,
Mm-hmm.
but also energy. We have a good or cheap energy. So there are many industries that are energy intensive, and people expect the forest industry, the energy industry, and also fertilizers industry, and even steel industry to benefit from this like environment right now.
Mm-hmm.
And well, and they also insisted on that. Even though we got the investment grade, it's a lot. It's a lot of work to keep it, right?
Mm-hmm. It's
And
not easy to keep it. Yeah.
yeah, it's.
Mhm.
I mean, it's easy if you don't fuck up, right? If you
Mhm. Don't mess up. You.
doing,
Uh-huh.
yeah, because this doesn't mean we can relax now.
Mhm.
And as you said, there are investors or pension funds
Mhm.
that will need more than
Only
one.
Moody's rating.
Yeah,
Mhm.
they need more than that.
Mhm.
And what people expect is that Fitch will get their investment grade rating for Paraguay
Mhm.
in 1 or 2 years.
Okay.
That's the
Mhm.
usual gap between one investment agency. I mean,
Mhm.
uh, and the other, right?
Mhm.
And for some countries, it's getting this um, achievement is or maintaining this achievement is just as hard as getting it.
Mhm.
And so we need to keep going like we do. I mean, focus on doing the things where we were doing good, right?
Mhm.
And yeah, and they closed this round table with a quote I wanted to share. Is
Mhm.
the says the market doesn't care or doesn't pick between left or right. The market only cares about confidence and certeza. How do you say certeza?
Certainty. Like you're
Certainty, right?
certainty. You're
And
certain about something.
stability.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Stability.
So the market
Certainty.
doesn't care left
Mm.
or right. The market
Mhm.
cares about certainty. And
Mm.
Paraguay, no more than ever, is a country with a lot of certainty in the economic side. So
Predictable
that's
also, right? Like it should be. It's a
yeah,
predictable country.
yeah. That's
In a
the
good way,
word, right?
right?
In a good way, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what markets look
Mm-hmm.
for.
Mm-hmm. Interesting. So they all mention how the investment grade will affect their individual industries. So that was the conclusion, basically.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
Okay. Great. So and here our audience are real estate investors. We're going to talk about the impact on real estate as well. But before that, yeah, like I said before, I want to show what happened with foreign investment because you know that foreign investment will always have a huge impact in a country's economy, right? Like for all the factors that Juan was mentioning. Like we will have more infrastructure, um, more jobs, more development, right? Make it shorter. So I'm gonna share what happened to Chile when they got the investment grade rating. I'm gonna share that image here. So here on Zoom. I think that okay. I need to move something here. Sorry, guys. I got a technical issue here. Don't worry, don't worry. We're gonna save the situation here over here. There we go. There we go. Now we can see it. There we go. Okay. So this is when, as you can see, 1990 something, right? 1992. I don't know the year when they got the investment grade rating. When Chile got the investment grade rating, and then, as you can see, 10 years. This was a thing that I saw in common. This pattern, like you can really see the difference. 10 years after the country got the investment grade rating. Here you can see there's a huge difference between 1993, I think this will be, and 2000, right? In 10 years, there's a big difference. And then it kept going up, right? Kept going up. This is something that will happen to Paraguay as well, according to experts, right? So, what can you mention about this, Juan? You have your own podcast as well with Pro Invest Podcast. I stole this image from the Pro Invest podcast. So what happened there in Chile? Like,
Well,
mhm,
what we're looking at is the direct foreign in investing. And well, for real estate, if we want to talk about the real estate, I spoke with these experts from the roundtable, and they say, or they explain it, that in their countries like Uruguay and in their experience, that also got the investment grade around the same time. I think it was 2000, I think, later than Chile. But how this impacts real estate is not a real or direct impact. What you get is more foreign investment, like you say, more jobs, more industries. Then what happens is that the real estate market is able to expand because there are more demand for it, right? And more infrastructure and everything. It's not a direct impact. Some people expect a direct impact because they think the credits or the mortgages will get lower, and the mortgage for houses here is already has a subsidy, so the mortgages won't be lower right now. That's what the president of the AFD told me, because it's already subsidized. But what we can expect is people earning more. What can we can expect people spending more. We
mhm,
can expect also in real estate. We can expect, since real estate is a low risk investment, right? Because it's a real asset. It's maybe not too high yield, but it's something stable. Well, with the investment grade, real estate just got more stable, right? The yield you get is more stable, and you can expect more appreciation, because there will be more demand for rentals and also for buying property, because more jobs, more foreign investments, and so on. And of course, more appreciation on your property, because when you make a real estate investment, you are assuming a risk in exchange for a profit, right?
mhm.
In any investment. And those that profit or that rate or that cap rate, that capitalization rate of your investments depends on the conditions of the market, and that market condition can vary. I mean, there are cycles in everything, so you can expect a variation of your return. But when there is confidence in the market, when there's predictability,
Mhm.
when in the market, your risk is lower, and of course your profit or your rate of return or your return on investment is more stable and certain, right?
Mhm.
And well, the direct foreign investment, what we are looking here, what happened in Chile, we also happen here. And what this does is it brings a lot of people, of entrepreneurs, of business people, workers, and of course that makes it that the demand for housing will be higher, right?
Mhm.
And not all housing, but those houses and apartments that are located next to or near the offices and banks and services and shopping malls, right? That's where you will see more demand of this new people coming in Paraguay, and more close to the corporate districts, right,
Mhm.
where the rent is higher. And well, what we were discussing about the rate of the mortgages and so on, well, eventually it will get cheaper to get a credit, right? Not right away, but eventually we will be able to get lower rates for mortgages. Right now, it's very high compared to the U.S. A mortgage for a house is like 9%, 8%. That's a lot. Currently in the United States, they are lowering the
Mhm.
rates, and when that happens, is more people get access to credit for example, for buying a property for a mortgage, and that brings up the demand for housing, and that increases the prices in properties, right?
Mhm.
So, and if we get lower rates eventually for mortgages, we will get a big appreciation in properties, houses, apartments, and so on, because there will be a big demand that today there is no supply, or yeah, there's few people can access to mortgages here
Mhm.
because expensive. So
Mhm.
if we get mortgages, um, if we, I mean cheap mortgages like in the rest of the world,
Mhm.
the properties will go up, right?
Mhm.
Yeah, and also what will happen with real estate is right now there are a few investment funds or a few pension funds investing in real estate. Most of the real estate investors are single investors that invest in one, two, three apartments, maybe more,
Mhm.
but there's no institutional capital investing in Paraguay. There are no starting banks are starting to make and real estate investment trusts for to like funds that buy a whole building
Mhm.
and give the investors a yield. That's
Mhm.
something that didn't exist a
Mhm.
few months ago, and
Mhm.
it will now start to happen.
Totally
More
new. Yeah, totally new for Paraguay.
Yeah, I mean
Mhm.
there were attempts to doing
Mhm.
so. They didn't turn out very well,
Mhm.
but now the market got more professionalized,
Mhm. It
and we
mature.
are starting
Yeah.
to see,
Mhm.
yeah, mature, and we are
Mhm.
starting to see banks or big banks
Mhm.
doing it. And with the investment grade, of course, that will happen more quickly.
Mhm. That's an interesting side of things as well. So
Yeah.
our market will mature even more. And here I just wanted to show another country that also got the investment grade rating in around, I don't know, maybe it looks like 2013, maybe. Yes.
I'm not seeing that in. Are you showing
Okay,
that?
I need to share it. Sorry, I need to
Okay.
share it with Zoom. Zoom, because I'm sharing it with the premium application. There. Can you see it now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. So Uruguay, around 2013, and they were already going up, right? And the foreign investment was already there, but kept growing after Uruguay got the investment grade rating. And also, I got a very bad picture, but it's very interesting anyway. Sorry, because I took this during a conference. This is a snapshot. I'm gonna share it with you as well, Juan. Not very, the quality is not very good, but in that we can understand. Well, it's like we can understand anyway what is happening there in that picture. I share it here. Can you see it?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So this I got from Cesar Cáceres. Thank you, thank you, Cesar. I didn't ask.
Cesar is, I think, the
Uh,
CEO of Remax
it's
Paraguay or
Remax here,
something.
yeah, the CEO of Remax. So okay, the quality is not very good. I took it with my phone, but as you can see, here it says, um, like growing right of the prices of properties, right? Like increase. That would be the better translation. Like the increase of prices of properties after the countries got the investment grade rating, right? The increasing of the prices, right? So we got, as you can see here, we have the years. Like this is when they got the investment grade rating. 5 years later, 10 years later, 12 years later, 14 years later. So we have Chile, Mexico, Uruguay, Peru, and this is like the prediction for Paraguay, right? You can see the lines there. That's the prediction for Paraguay. Of course, and impossible to see the future, right? If you're not Nostradamus or something. But if you want to see the future, you want to try to see the future, what you can see is see the past, right? See what happened to these other countries that also achieved the investment grade rating. So, as I said before, I saw this pattern like the real change is you can notice after 10 years, right? Of course that, and right after they got the investment grade, the fin started to go up, and in this case is the prices of properties, probably because of the factors that Juan mentioned, right? um more demand, so more demand will increase the prices, right? That's very basic. So that is something that, do you think that this will happen to Paraguay, Juan? Do you think that it's too optimistic, or is this realistic? What do you think?
One of the things I like about Paraguay is since we are like the little brother of our limit neighbor countries, like we are the little brother of Brazil, Uruguay, and and Argentina and Chile and so on. And of course, you can't predict the future, but it's very easy for us to look at our neighbors. I mean, what happened in Chile, what happened in Argentina, and so on, and see where Paraguay will be in a few years. It was always like that for Paraguay and for every industry. When we started doing apartment buildings, I remember there was this Argentinian investor that came to Paraguay and told us, you have to design an apartment with this and this and that and these square meters and so on. And we told him, no, but that's not what Paraguayan people like or need. And he told us, trust me, this is how is Buenos Aires, and just follow my advice. And we were skeptic and thinking that Paraguay or Paraguayan people would be different needs and so on, but it turned out to be true. I mean, in fact, we were a bit earlier maybe in designing those apartments, but a few years later it was the standard, right? And for every industry in Paraguay, you have the food industry, whatever trend there is that's happening in Argentina or Brazil, it will happen later in Paraguay. So it's like it's a benefit. It's basically seeing the free future when you look at Argentina. I was talking to some guy that owns a restaurant, a few restaurants actually, and he has this thing mapped. He says in Argentina the gin tonic was popular like 3 years ago, and no, we are like 6 months away from it being popular in Paraguay, and just a matter of looking at your neighbor and you know that in 2 or 3 years your industry will get there. So it's like a cheat code living in Paraguay, but you can expect what to well, you know what to expect.
Yeah.
And well, of course, the investment grade is not something, it's not a switch that just turn it on and we get this new environment. No, it's and at the end it's just an indicator of what the country was heading to. So it's not something magical when we see this stuff. We don't. It's not like, oh, things will change. No, the investment grade was just an indicator of the things that we were doing good. It's just not one thing, but many things going on in Paraguay that lets us get here.
And the dangerous side maybe can be that the government will have more access to loans, right? So
Yeah,
they
yeah,
need to
that's
be careful, right, to
yeah,
avoid being into more debts, right? Because they will be able to get more loans, more credits, right? So it's like you mentioned at the beginning, when you have a credit card, now your
yeah,
limit is higher, right? You got more money to spend, but so our government needs to be careful with that, right?
of course.
But so far they have
Like we
been,
said,
yeah.
it's not the government even, it's the central
A
bank.
central
So
bank. Okay, you mentioned
yeah,
that they
and
are independent from each
yeah,
other. So the
yeah.
central
So
bank maybe won't allow the government to do
yeah,
something like that,
that's how
maybe.
it works,
Hmm.
basically. Yeah.
Okay, okay, that's good to know. And here, okay, so we hope that this will happen. But is this? Let's suppose that this will be true, right? This line here, and is this good news for real estate investors or bad news? The
Yeah, I
price.
mean, it will be a gradual a change. It won't be like, oh, you will get rich from one day to the
Mm,
other. But yeah, I think there are many people that invest in countries when they are about or when they just got the investment grade, and they plan long term, because long term, of course, again, it's not just the investment grade, it's the current environment of the country. Of course, your real estate will appreciate, right? It's just everyone knows that. I mean,
so it's like the best time to buy will be now, but it has always been now, right? The best time to invest, but now even more, right? Because of this
yeah, right.
context.
It's more less risk, right?
Yeah, yeah.
You're more confident on the
More
country.
predictable. Yeah, all those reasons that that makes you an investor that will be totally sure of what he's doing, right? So
Yes.
not a high risk investment. So here I have more questions for you, Juan. Since you are here, really grateful because you are here, because I know that you are very busy. Um, you were recording many videos because you will be launching online course, right? It will
Yeah.
be in Spanish. So if you
Yeah.
guys want
For
to
now.
practice your Spanish, I'm gonna share that link with you as well.
Yeah, we need to try that meta
Okay,
translating.
with AI,
Uh,
with AI.
yeah,
Yeah,
maybe.
so that it will make our accent native. Because we are speaking like Paraguayans, of course, because we are Paraguayans, but we will improve with technology. And what I wanna know, um, like, what is your advice for real estate investors considering the new context that will emerge with this investment grade rating? Like, what's your advice?
Yeah, like any investment, do your own research. Never invest in something you don't understand. When you invest in something you don't understand, no matter what it is, you are taking a lot of risk. No matter if you are investing in something like real estate, you can still um, do a bad investment if you don't know what you're investing in. So I'll say do your own research. Learn about what you're going to invest in, and get to know the people behind the projects you are going to invest in. I always say you don't invest in projects, you invest in people. So it's the people behind the projects that you are really investing in. So get to know them. What else? Study the market. Plan long term, and take action also, because when you I know a lot of investors that regret not investing, um, I don't know, a few years ago,
Mhm,
or not investing more. So you need to take action, but provided that you did your research and such.
mhm. And according to what I know, Pro Invest has a lot of foreign investors, right? Like from
Yeah,
not
we
only
have
from South
investors.
America, but from
Yeah,
Europe.
we have
Yeah.
investors from 16 countries already,
Hmm.
and most of our investors are Paraguayan. Then the among the foreign investors, there are Argentinians, then Germans for some reason. I mean, there's a lot of Germans in Paraguay actually, and then we have people from Portugal, Czech Republic, Austria also, and of course Chile,
Hmm.
Brazil, Spain, UK, United States, and there are many investors. Also, is 310 investors already.
Hmm. Oh my God,
Um,
310.
yeah, they choose Paraguay or pick Paraguay because of the taxes
Mm-hmm.
and how it's easy to get your residence actually.
Mm-hmm.
But I met some experts recently
Mm-hmm.
in a Bitcoin meetup a few weeks ago or a month ago already,
Mm-hmm.
and they tell you that they arrived to Paraguay to get their residence, to get their tax benefits, but they stayed for the vibes. I came for the taxes
Hmm.
and stayed for the vibe.
They like the
And
vibes here. Mm-hmm.
yeah, I mean,
Mm-hmm.
what does that mean? I'm not sure, because I don't know her the where they come from,
Mm-hmm.
but they mentioned that there's a lot to do in Paraguay. I
Mm.
mean, that they see a lot of opportunity
Yes,
as
that's true. Mm-hmm.
Paraguayans see their country and see, for instance, oh, look, there's a lot of construction there. But when a foreign people or a person comes here, they say, oh, there are many empty lots here. Why people aren't building enough, or how come you don't have this or that store or industry or whatever. So they see a lot of opportunity. That's what they like, I guess. And yeah, they mentioned the people are nice and so on, the climate and everything. But yes, people like here. And
Mm-hmm.
also and this week I saw that Asuncion, the capital of Paraguay, was among the top 10
Mm.
cities that
9, I think,
nomads,
right?
yeah,
9.
ninth, at nomads.com.
Mm-hmm.
That's a very popular site among
Mm-hmm.
digital nomads, and
Mm-hmm.
Asuncion got to the ninth place.
Mm-hmm.
That.
That's really crazy for us.
Yeah,
That because we live in
yeah. I
Asuncion,
mean,
we have lived here our whole life,
yeah,
and like difficult to appreciate because we are living here, right? We have lived here.
I think the only people that that appreciate really it's people that get or have contact with foreign people.
Mm-hmm.
Like the typical Paraguayan doesn't believe in his country
Mm-hmm.
until he gets to talk to experts that
Mm-hmm.
tell us or tell them the benefits or the nice things about Paraguay. Many Paraguayans dream of living in Europe
Mm-hmm.
while and then don't understand why Europeans are coming here.
Mm-hmm.
So it's hard to explain until you talk to European people and they tell you about the benefits or the nice things about your country. It's really weird. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
you living here don't
Yeah.
well the grass is greener in the
Mm-hmm.
other side.
Yeah, that's true. So when we see our country through their eyes, it's like we we don't take things for granted, right? There are some things that we
Yeah,
take for granted here, but
yeah,
when we see people from more developed countries, like let's be honest, they are coming from more developed countries, but they are able to identify some valuable things that we don't even notice here, right?
yeah.
So
I remember a German investor, and he was asking me something like, "Hey, how do you get a dog from the street? I want to adopt a dog." And I was just like, "Okay, go grab the dog and put a leash on him, and
let's
that's it."
grab the
No, I
dog.
mean, where do I get my permit for having a dog? And there's no such thing as a permit for having a dog. What do you
Yeah,
mean? I mean, go grab your
yeah.
pick your dog from the street and take it home, and things like that. And we take those things for granted, I
Yeah,
guess.
yeah.
I don't know.
And another thing that's very important, right? Maybe our audience will appreciate that. It's very easy to be an entrepreneur here, right?
Yeah,
To have your business, to open your business. It's way easier than in Europe, according to some clients that are from Europe, and they were telling me all the taxes that they are supposed to pay if they want to open a business. So here in Paraguay, very easy. Maybe we can talk about that maybe in another occasion, another program. Because yeah, the idea is to do this once a week, every Thursday. Juan was telling me before we started streaming that he wants to be here again. So maybe he will be like a co-host, but I don't know his salary, and I need to we need to negotiate that, right? To negotiate his salary, but that's the idea, guys. We as you may notice, English is not our native language, but we want to reach as many people as possible from different parts of the world, right? Because there are a lot of opportunities right now here in Paraguay regarding real estate. Of course, that's our field here, but we can also discuss other topics such as adopting dogs, as you can see now. We are also mentioning that. So I think that we almost reached the end, but do you think that there is something else that we can mention about the investment grade rating, Juan? Because here
I think we're done.
we are done here, but I want to mention something right before we finish. That there is a link here in the description of the video, a link that will take you to a form. That if you fill that form, I will give you access to a webinar. That's almost 2 hour long webinar about the real estate market here in Asuncion. Right? It's a very long webinar. Took me a lot of research. 90% of the research that I used for that webinar was research made by ProInvest, right? So, like information from experts based, right? All the info that I'm sharing there in that webinar, information that I took from experts of the field. So, you want to access that webinar that now is a little bit outdated. I think that um, I I host this webinar in May. Right now it's a little bit outdated because I didn't mention the investment grade rating and other things, but it's just to give you an overview of the real estate market here in Asuncion. Okay, so if you complete that form, so you will find the link here, the description of the video. I will send you the the video, guys. Okay, so you can watch it whenever you want. Okay, so and we will create a Telegram group. Maybe the next show, next week, we will have that link available for you. If you wanna join the Telegram group, so we can continue discussing things there and sharing information. So that will be ready next week. So I think that's all for today. Thank you very much, Juan, for your time. So we hope to see you here again.
Thank you.
Great.
Bye bye.
Bye bye, everyone.